Welcome to video 2 of the Confident Creative course with me, Emma O'Brien. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing how to make work that's recognizably yours. So in the previous video, I talked about how to add more review authentically into the work that you make. And I asked you a few questions to consider so you can really start to get clear on the purpose behind your work and your big why behind your creative work, because it's a big driver in what we do as creatives. So if you haven't watched that, do go back and watch video 1 and just start to work through the questions in there. So today I'd like you to think about your favorite artist, author, photographer, baker, whichever creatives you follow, depending on what industry you are in. And I want you to have a look at their work, and I would like you to start to recognize what the common theme is that makes their work individual to them. So I have recently started reading, sorry, we've got a dog sitting in here with me if you're hearing funny noises. I have recently started reading some of Dan Brown's books. I read the Da Vinci Code when it first came out, and then there's been a few here. I like a Dan Brown book, a bit of Patricia Cornwell, just as a means of literally switching off. You know, I can skim read it, and you know, it's quite a good, you know, it's a good story. It's not very highbrow, but it's okay. You know, it's a good escape, and they're enjoyable reads. And as I'm reading through Dan Brown stuff, you pick up the familiar motifs that come through. You know, invariably he ends the book in bed with the female heroine of the book about to be shown a good time. You know, invariably when anybody gets knocked out, everything goes black. You know, so you've got these kind of these very the same kind of methodologies, if you like, of what happens in the book. The story arc is pretty much the same. You know, it's a Dan Brown book, but even though it's almost got a bit of a formula to it, it doesn't make them less enjoyable to read. It doesn't make them less fun. In fact, you sort of know, you know what you're going to be getting, and you know it's going to be good, and it's going to be fast paced, and it's going to be somewhere exciting. So I just thought that was quite an interesting example to share. And then if we go from Dan Brown and have a look at how he has motifs running through, and we look at a painter like Caravaggio, for instance, if you look at his body of work, you know, look at his paintings all together, you can clearly see they're all by him. The way his lighting is, the way that, you know, the images are, you know, there's often a lot of dark and light in there. They're very dramatic. They're very graphic. You know, it's very clearly a Caravaggio painting. So I'll invite you to have a look at your favorite people and see what motifs and themes go through their work, because just because something's recognizable, it doesn't make it, you know, it doesn't make it less exciting or less interesting. I think the aim for any of us as creatives is to have somebody see our work or read our work and go, I know exactly who created that. That is when you start to become, you know, the go-to person and a sought-after person in your industry. So have a look at your favorite artists, and then I would like you to have a look at your work and start to see if you can find if there's a common theme in the way you do creative work. So whether that's the way you craft a sentence, whether that's the way you light a photograph, whether that's the way you use color in your painting, whether that's the way you put recipes together, whatever it looks like for you, I'd like you to start noticing what makes your work yours, the way, you know, what makes the way you do your work unique to you. So to help you with this, I've got a little bit of a task for you today. So I would like you to email at least 5 of your clients, and I'd like you to ask them what they like about your work, why they chose to work with you or buy from you, and what it is that kind of drew them to your work. And I'd like you to make a list of the feedback that you get and to see what the commonalities are, because sometimes it's actually very useful. We're perhaps too close to our own work to be able to be objective about it, and having somebody else feedback what they really like about it is super, super useful. Because when you know what these commonalities are and you know what it is your clients like about your work and why they're buying from you, you can start to thread that into your messaging and your marketing material to get yourself more of these clients who really love your work. So again, keep this list handy for video 5. I've mentioned that a couple of times, but video 5 is a big one because we're going to be talking about ideal clients and how to get your work in front of people. So fundamentally, you can really make the most out of this free course, and you can start to use it to build your business. So have fun with that. I'm going to see you in the next video, which is all about pricing.